thank you all for joining us. Those of you who are here for another exciting edition of Codex Albana. As always, I'm joined by these guys, and they can introduce themselves going from this gentleman right here all the way around the horn. Introduce yourself and your character, and any comment you'd like to make about how traumatized or weird this campaign has gotten.
I am Max Liao from Legion of Myth. I am playing Ethane Kirby. I'm essentially a longbowman with a couple other skills on the side. I'm the innocent one.
And the High King.
No wrong here that they thrown this High King nonsense onto. I don't get it. I don't know if I want it, if all the people who follow me are going to stab out their eyeballs and testicles and, I don't know, pierce their groins or something. But no.
To the Kedekoi. Remember that?
The what?
Last session, he was trying to give his heart to Kedekoi until you all stopped cutting his fucking heart out.
Yeah, people are weird. So anyway, but no, there's a great group of players here. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of nonsense happens today, and moving on over to Cody.
Hey, I'm GM Cody, and I am playing Lorelin, the now very blind wizard, except for now he can see through his third sight. And I don't think it was weird at all. I think it was awesome. So,
who's got background noise playing?
It's Malachi with this cat and heat.
Cat Malachi? Dear God. All right. Keep going, Cody. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's all. I'm looking forward to the game. Should be good, as always.
All right, Malachi.
Malachi playing Gerhard Bach, the Fallen Templar that really doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, playing is also an interesting term you're using. It's so much fun to take those jabs. All right, and next to you is
the old geek, otherwise known as John to those who know me personally. I'm playing everybody's favourite Sir Gerard de Vere, who also doesn't know what he's doing but will never admit it.
Ever. Clearly. And finally, with a better browser, hopefully we'll keep him in the conversation this time, we have
Intellectual Quandary, playing Navri Ishmatar in this campaign, the one between worlds, and also De Vere's sworn rival.
Really?
No, not really, no.
I must have missed that declaration of whatever the hell.
Hey, a lot happened between sessions.
Well, apparently. So who wants to tell us? I don't know why I turned to Bill Cosby on that one. But anyway, who wants to tell us what happened last time we played?
I think Cody needs to.
Yeah, I think that point of view, you cannot beat that point of view right there.
Fair.
Let's see if I can remember what happened.
There is that.
Yeah, which my memory is really horrible. So yeah, this was not a good idea. All I remember is we went someplace on a boat. We got washed up on shore, and then we were ambushed by beastmen, I believe. Things did not go well. It was going south pretty quickly. We were trying to protect the High King. We were being overwhelmed. Lorelin used some magic. I believe Malachi Gerhard dropped at one point. Mm-hmm. And I believe that is where I used my final sacrifice to gouge out my eye and use whatever magic I could summon from that to bring Gerhard back to life, and also created a
little part where you did your little look at the Witch Queen and she pulled your eye out of your head. Don't forget.
Well,
that.
she pulled one of my eyes, and then I pulled the other one.
Yeah.
If I can't have them both, I don't want any of them.
I think it was Navri that you were trying to revive, actually.
Was it? I can't remember.
So,
did two people drop? It might have been two actually that dropped, because it was a pretty desperate fight. I
definitely dropped first. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it might have been two that dropped actually. So yeah, Lorelin got one of his eyes plucked by the Witch Queen, and then he plucked out the other one in a sacrifice to try to save someone's life. I guess Navri.
If thine eye offends thee, eh?
And he's gone completely out of his mind now. Lost a bit of sanity. And last we left off, I think we were hiding in a cave or something.
No, you then the High King decided to go on walkabout.
Oh, that's right. He disappeared. He's like, screw this nonsense. I've had enough of this.
And then what happened?
I don't remember the rest.
Wow, guys, notes. They're going to help you so much if you just take notes. Given the amount of lore in this world, the people you meet, the names that are going to matter, it might help to take notes moving forward. Just a thought. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. 6 sessions in to be saying maybe take notes, but here we are. Now,
Maybe we wanted to forget the last session.
Well, I think then you wanted to forget every session so far. So basically, you wandered for a while, and then you guys all sort of wound you on, getting retrieved by a dog. Remember that? And then you met the Rangers of Ayre. Remember that? And then you guys wound up in the Standing Stones. Remember that? And there were fairies and all that kind of weird shit. And then Navri was out for the whole time, and
they pushed
the animals, the forest
the High
creatures
King
all
down
showed
the
up
cliff.
and surrounded you. Remember that? And
Didn't
then
I
who
piss a
showed
few
up?
people off?
Oh yeah, Ketakoi showed up, the pagan goddess, and told Devere that his god wasn't real. And Devere, being the open and completely trusting what he sees before his eyes, said, "Fuck you, you're wrong. Leave, witch." This fucking guy, I swear. Meanwhile, Cody's trying to offer his heart to her, which she's accepted the deal and told you she'll collect it at another time.
Cody's now made deals with 3 separate entities.
Would you like to recap those deals, please?
He's going to run out of body parts soon.
Please recap those deals. Iman?
Oh, me? Oh, sorry.
You
I thought
brought it up.
Cody. So there was one with the, was it the Spider Queen in the cave?
And what deal did he make with her? Do you remember?
What was the deal? I can't remember. No, sorry.
All right. What's the second one he made?
The second one was...
Yeah, it was his eye.
I feel
No,
very,
that was the last
very,
one.
very good about how much you're all invested in this campaign.
Wasn't that one the eye to bind the dwarf to me?
Is that what he did? He take his
Yeah,
eye
I
out to
did.
bind the dwarf?
No. I did bind the dwarf to him, but I don't believe that was. It might have been actually. Yeah, I did make a deal with the dwarf. Yes, that is true.
Yeah, he's Lachlan is the Constantine of this world, apparently. That's how that's working. Except Constantine has both his eyes. Anywho, we're going to pick up where we left off, which was you all went to sleep. Navri, you are the first one to awaken in the morning as the sun touches you, as you realize you're not where you last thought you were, which was on a rocky shore fighting beastmen, but you're actually in a beautiful wooded glade inside a circle of stones, and all your companions are about you sleeping.
Oh. Wait. I'm just looking at the wound in my chest where I got stabbed, because that's the last thing I remember.
Lachlan, you're awake.
Okay.
And you hear Navri going, "Where am I? Oh.
You're safe. That's where you're at.
Oh,
You turn and look at him, Navri, and he has no eyes.
What on earth happened to you?
Make a sanity check.
Oh,
Make a sanity check right now, boy.
Dice. Okay, rolling. I passed.
All right. So you don't lose any sanity, but what the heck
41.
is going on?
Laurelin, my good man, what happened to you? Are you okay?
I'm perfectly fine. Why? You seem.
What do you mean, why? You haven't... Your eyes are missing.
Oh, they aren't they? I start putting my my fingers into my empty eye sockets.
The last thing I remember, I was having a fight with someone, and I think I got stabbed. How did we get here?
Well,
Were we
you
victorious?
fell in the battle. We are victorious in that we lived, and we're safe now.
Okay. My good man, is there anything I can do for you? Are you in any pain?
No, I assure you, I'm perfectly fine.
Can you still see?
I can see better than I ever have, Navri.
And Navri's just going to think, like, what on earth is he on about? Clearly he can't see anything.
Devere, you are woken by the discussion.
You are awake, young Navri.
You're too far from your
So,
mic, son.
Devere,
Sorry. Yes, I was last time I looked, yes.
please, can you recount what happened after I was incapacitated in battle?
Laurelin gave up his sight for your life.
What? He sacrificed that for me?
Yes.
Laurelin, I'm forever in your debt. How can I repay you for this?
You're not in my debt.
I owe
No
you my
payment
life.
necessary.
If it wasn't for you, I may not be here right now.
The only thing you owe me, you don't owe me anything. You owe your king a lot more.
Thane, you're awake. Malachi, Gerhardt, you're awake.
Then if it is your wish to do so, then I will support the High King in any way.
What?
Oh, High King!
Oh, yes.
Oh, God. Oh, I see you're better. And frozen.
Yeah.
We are
there he
still
goes.
stuck inside this damn circle. I remember being warned not to leave it.
I'm
Does that
looking around
warning
at this.
still stand today?
I'm looking around at this circle, and I'm like, wait, what? Why are we in this circle?
The forest around you is absolutely majestic. It's the kind of forest that is very almost surreal in its appearance. There's the cottonwood is like stuff on the wind as the sun is coming through the leaves, and you can hear birds and animals all around you. Have you ever seen the movie Legend? It's very much like the forest in Legend. It's very like just insane levels of fantasy forest. And if you haven't seen Legend, what's wrong with you? Watch Legend. It's a great movie.
And Tom Cruise.
Yeah, you can watch him too. If you like, sure.
I draw my sword, polish it against my cloak, step outside the circle, and shout, "I will not give in to your pagan demands, witch queen, whatever you call yourself. I am here with the power of the Lord behind me, and nothing
Devere,
shall stop
who are
me."
you talking to?
And stand there defiantly, looking around.
Doesn't he still have my sword?
Yes, he does.
Yes.
Yeah. And as you say that, the hilt of the sword flares with heat, burning your hand as you drop it. Or you can try and hold on to it. It's up to you. What do you want to do?
I will initially attempt to hold on to it because I'm a.
4 points of
on a
damage.
Oh,
At which point I drop it.
You drop it, and it like unerringly goes point first in the ground, sticking out of the earth.
We were told to stay in the circle, otherwise we would die. Well, it'd be dangerous. Same thing.
I think the sword wants you to come and reclaim it, unfortunately.
Okay, I'm side glancing over at Laurelin as I walk that way. And
So empty sockets staring back at you.
like no matter where I stand, it's always not looking at me. I pick up I pick up the sword and tentatively walk back into the circle.
You walk back into the circle.
I'm still stood outside the circle, and with my sore hand, I'm going to draw my sword and issue the same challenge. A little bit chastened.
In your head, Gerhard, you're, God Lord, this one.
Wait, does
How
he
far
have
up
this
is old
sword?
Nars can he be at this point in time? Who's he yelling at the fucking trees?
And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, saying to him, "Yeah, I know. I'm
Well, do something then before I take your body and I do it myself.
Gerhard. Sir DeVere, it might be wise to move back into the circle where it's safe.
I don't see any danger around me now. Do you?
Do we want to test fate?
Might that be something you can see?
And I look back over at Laurelin.
I will not let some pagan tell me what I must and must not do and what I must and must not believe.
What about your High King?
I will serve you if you wish to give an order.
Oh, that's cool. Yes, come back in here.
What, you agreeing with the pagans?
I don't know.
Very well, High King. I shall do as you suggest, as I am in your service.
Thank you. I'm gonna go.
May I? And I'm just going to touch the hilt of your sword. Yeah. Okay.
Are you okay?
It seems your sword doesn't like me. I
Well,
wonder
it's not
why.
the only one. Oh, all right. Sorry. Laurelin, and I step back away from him like a step, and I kind of hold my sword, not like at him, but like, like just in front of me, just as a personal like space defense. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
See,
Why would you think otherwise?
because you say that like the old men who sit in the springs and chew on leather. Somebody who's I don't. You say that like you're Philip.
Philip.
This,
What a
this-
word, dear
you're not.
Philip.
You're not talking. You're not being you. So, are you you?
I assure you, I'm more than me than I ever have been. But the question is, are you really you?
I feel like me. Wait, no. So you have had authority. You had power, and now you sound like a drunkard.
No offense, my lord, but you're the one with the power and authority here.
Okay. Then I order you not to stab out any more eyes.
Well, seeing as I have no more eyes to stab out of myself,
That's a good point. Any other? But look, okay. Let me think. I'm your High King, right?
that is correct.
All right. Gerhardt?
Yeah.
By the way, Thane is saying this. I mean, his voice is probably cracking as he's saying, as he's talking. Sir Devere already said his point. Sir Navri?
Yes, High King.
Okay. I'm taking off my boots.
Okay.
Taking off my boots. Whoever's closest to me, I don't care which one. Who's closest?
Devere.
Devere? All right, I handed him. Kiss it.
the boot. Then I shall. You are the king.
And then pass it to the next person.
God.
Will I do the same?
Thane's confused, but okay. And pass it to the next person.
I hand it to Navri.
And I will do the same.
Maverick,
Yes.
in your culture, this would be subjugation.
Yes, but he's the king.
And that would mean you were subjugating yourself to someone other than God.
I don't necessarily think that's true, but okay.
In the Zahiric faith, this would be subjugating yourself to someone other than God. Now, he is a between worlds. He's half Pendrical form, half Zahiric.
Yeah, so that's why I'm thinking, like, well, I'm serving my king. Like, you know, state is separate to religion, so can I not
Not in
serve
your
both?
faith. In the Zahiric faith, no one's allowed to wear gold because gold is the color of God. That's why they all wear silver and their crowns are made of silver. There is no separation of church and state in the Zahiric faith.
But I'm not fully Zahiric, though. My father was.
There you go then.
But that's what I said.
Yeah. I'm just making you explain yourself so that way we have a better understanding of what's going through Navri's head.
Okay, right, yeah. So obviously, in Navri's head, it's more like, well, you know, God is God. Like, no human can ever match up to God, and I'm just serving my king. That's different.
Okay.
And I'll pass it on
And
to
Laurelin?
whoever's next. Yeah.
I take the boot, lick it, lick it again, sniff it, slowly rub it over my face, and then kiss it gently and hand it back to him.
I don't know if I want to wear it anymore. This is so odd. Very, very well. I think this is what kings and ministers do to show. Was it fealty? Very well. I will do my best as your High King. You've kept me alive this long. You've all had guidance this far. I know I have not lived up to whatever your expectations of me are, and I'm going to continue not to live up to them. But if you support me, I promise you, I will learn from you and do everything that I can. With my words, I kiss your feet in return.
Now you have found yourself. And
I am so confused.
I get up, put my arm around a Fane and peck him.
Oh no! If I'm putting on my boot, I'm hopping with 1 foot backward right now.
So, my liege, what is our next course of action?
Aren't you the wise one?
I am the wise one, and I'm here to offer any advice you may seek.
A wise one who would gouge out his own eyes.
I was thinking the same thing, Devere.
Closer to your mic, John.
Sorry. A wise one who would gouge out his own eyeballs. What are we stuck with?
An eye for an eye, a life for a life. It is what it is.
Do you remember a couple days ago when we were in the pool and I tried to kiss the demon, and afterwards we were all bickering and yelling and arguing. Can we not do that? I mean, no,
Very well.
we're not going to do that anymore.
Very well, my king.
As you command, High King.
I just want to put my boot on now.
Your boot is on.
Is Perron here, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
Yes, Baron is watching all of this with wide eyes and a confused look on his poor little face.
So, we are knights in your service. What would you have us do?
Well, we have an objective. I forget the name of the place, but we have to go to Ayre.
Ayre, yeah,
Ayre.
you're in Ayre, and you have to go see the king.
Will you be informing him that you are the true king?
Is that a good idea? That sounds
don't know.
dangerous.
It's up to you to decide.
Is a high
And
king
you're
not above a
wise
king?
man.
If I'm a high king and you're my army and he's just a king and he has, say, 10,000 in an army, does it matter?
It seems wrong, but
If I'm not fully convinced I'm this high king, that the Pendrick cycle is us, how am I supposed to convince somebody else? Who probably doesn't want to doesn't want to give up his power.
Well, the people that we've come across so far seem more willing to believe it than even you are, so I don't think they'll need that much convincing.
How could we help you convince yourself? That sword you have, it's chosen you. It rejected me. And that is a fine blade. I do suggest you learn how to use it, but it is a fine blade, and it wants you.
Well, yes. We'll figure that out on the way. That's just a good point. If people are like, look, we've all heard the stories. We all understand the significance of this. But I also know that people don't like to answer to other people.
That is true in societies that are misguided. In societies that function, there is a hierarchy.
This is a society of fairies.
This society is lost to paganism. It would be wrong to even call it a society.
Seems to be fine, I guess. Anyway, if we have to go, let's go.
Very well. Perrin, pack up my things. See, Perrin knows his place within our society.
Perrin's packing up shit. Actually, you guys didn't even unpack shit, so Perrin's just picking up shit.
Yep, that's fine.
I brush the laurelin off my boot a little bit and start heading out.
So as you guys leave the circle of stones, heading southward, deeper into Ayre, you see the dog sitting on the high ground ahead of you, and it's just looking at you, lolling its tongue and waiting.
That's the one that brought me back, right?
Yep.
Will you give your? It seems it's your dog now. Will you be giving it a name?
Dog?
Does the dog seem
sure
quite friendly, like to the rest of us as well as the High King?
What do you mean?
Like, will he let us pet him if we approach him?
Are you trying to pet him, or are you just asking? Because you haven't had. This is the first encounter you're having with the dog, son.
Yeah. You have to give him a proper name, my king. You can't just call him dog, surely.
So we called animals growing up.
The King's Royal Pooch deserves a name.
Royal who?
The King's Royal Pooch deserves a name.
Beast.
It barks.
It barks.
Beast.
I like it.
That reminds me. Where is our beast?
I thought he fell on the rocks.
Yeah,
As
the
far as
last
you
I
guys
remember
know,
of him,
down with the ship.
he helped one of us onto the rocks and then went under the surface. Right?
I have not seen him since the boat crash.
Sorry, I can't hear you, Malachi.
Sorry, I said I haven't seen him since the boat crash.
I say I mutter a little prayer to him.
Dog spins 3 times in a circle and then barks at you guys again.
I think he wants us to get moving.
Does anybody have a stick? All right, let's. Who knows the way?
Maybe your wise man can see through that mystical eye. He
How
claims
can
to
he
have
see?
now.
Well, he saw well
Well, I
enough
can see
to, you know, kiss and lick your boot, High King.
Do I actually know the way?
Well, south.
Right.
You're
But
the north end of Ayre. You go south, you're eventually going to get to the city, the capital, which is. Give me
So
a sec.
unless I'm envisioning this wrong, we're in like a glade of wood or in a glade within a forest. I wasn't suspecting that there were just roads here. If there are, that's my fault.
No, they're not. There are no roads. You're in a woods, but you need to head south to Druin, which is just down the coast from where you crashed, from where you shipwrecked.
I guess we go south.
So when you say that, Beast starts barking and running happily south.
Yeah, he's less weird than the rest of these people I run after.
Okay. So once he sees that you're following, he just starts heading south.
Perrin,
that down.
Are we
Perrin,
all following
feel-
a dog? What are we
Yeah.
doing?
Following.
Yeah.
Yes, so.
Perrin, I feel that our king may not have much experience with dogs. Can you take it on yourself to see that the dog is fed and watered?
Oui, Chevalier.
Thank you, Perrin.
Or Perrin. I mean, anyway, yeah. Okay, so you guys followed the dog south for the better part of the day. And eventually he dashes ahead of you and up a little rise in the land to a ridge and then just starts barking and barking and barking and barking and barking until you guys get closer. And as you step onto the ridge, there's basically like it almost falls into a valley. You can see the sea off in the distance and you can see this decent sized settlement. This is the port of Druin sitting before you.
Wow,
All right.
look at that.
Wow.
Seems.
The dog knew where he was going.
All around it is forest. Like as far as the eye can see, other than the sea, is forest. It's a very wooded country.
The dog was given to us by our Lord as a great friend to man, a great servant to man. Put faith in the trusty hound.
Good boy.
Barks again and starts heading down the running down the slope towards the settlement towards Druin.
Let's go.
All right, I'm running after the dog.
Sure.
That's more fun than
So,
thinking
like,
about High
there's
King
trees
stuff.
everywhere, right? I mean, there's little pathways and clearings and what have you, but it's a very forested part of the world. And as you get closer and closer to the city gates, you see 2 guards wearing the colors of green, cream, and gold, which are the colors of this place. And basically, they just sort of, cross their spears in front of you at the gates, and they're like, "Identify yourselves."
Oh, hi, I'm Methane. I was chasing my dog, sorry.
You're a dog.
Uh-huh.
That's a ranger hound.
Well, his name's Beast.
Be that as it may, you're a Thane. Who are the rest?
So who's behind me? Or I'll just start labeling them off. That's Sir Devere, That's Sir Navri. I think he has another name, but that's what I know him as. That's Sir maybe Gerhardt, and that's Lorelin, the blind wise guy.
And from behind the guards, you hear a voice go, "And you, rapscallions, stand in the presence of the High King of Albana. Clear away and let them in." And that's behind the guards. As you guys look, and you see Philip standing there with a turkey leg and a flask of whatever he's drinking. "Took you long enough to get here, boys."
How did you get here?
Philip?
I was thinking the same thing.
I walked the hidden paths.
Could have shown us them.
Orlin, you've misplaced your eyes.
No, I only misplaced one of them. One of them was taken, actually.
Well, either way, they're not in your head anymore. They've gone on an adventure, I guess. Nonetheless, step aside. And he sort of bats at the guards. We're like, yes, of course. Fine. They move aside. Come, the king's waiting for you. We're supposed to be here 2 days ago.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How
Good
is
to
it
see
that you
again,
have
Philip.
their ear, Philip?
What?
How is it that you have their ear, Philip? They seem to
Have you met
respond to
me?
you. Yes,
I'm very
yes.
charming. He just
Oh.
laughs and starts walking. So tell me all about your journey since last we met, Thane, High King of Albana.
They keep calling me that. So we went on a ship. That was actually pretty cool. The seas got really bad. That was not so cool. We crashed into some rocks. Thought I was going to die. Navri and Gerhardt almost did die. Lorelin cut out his eyeball. I ran away because that's gross. And I have a pet dog. I should have named him Philip.
Well, that's my name. I'm no dog. Though the ladies know me as a hound. Well, sounds like you've had a great time. And he slaps you on the back heartily. King Sian is waiting for you. Shall
King
we?
who?
Sian, the king of Ayre.
Is he aware that Ethane is the High King,
Well,
and
I
thus his
wouldn't
superior?
do my job if he wasn't. Now, would I?
Oh, good. Saves us the trouble.
My job, just like yours, is to keep him safe. Eyeless is to give him intelligence. And the other two are to eat things in case they have to. You know, steel, arrows, beastman claws, that sort of thing. Well, speaking of, where's your...
I step back to Devere for a moment, kind of tap
where's your
him.
beastman?
I don't know.
Philip's right in Devere's face right now, talking to him.
Yeah, well, okay.
We do not know it. We last saw him when the ship crashed. He may well have fallen beneath the waves.
Sad news. I believe the High King wants to speak with you.
What is it, Ethane?
What do I say when we get there?
Good morning, King. Bow before me. I am the High King.
That seems a bit forward and a way to get killed.
If Philip has already told him that you're the High King, he should be giving you.
What if I
the
just said
due
"Good
respect.
morning, King" and see how it goes from there?
Maybe.
I think that would be better.
It's up to you, though. I mean,
You are the one that serves Queen. You are the one that
Yes.
you live this lifestyle. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, we bow and we show great respect towards those who are superior in our society. And if you are the High King, you are above a mere king. We will show him respect. He should show you respect.
Okay.
Are we done flitting about and fratting and fruffing?
Are you done
Your
eating?
Majesty. What?
So are you done eating?
I can walk and eat. I'm not an invalid. Capable of doing two
Well,
things
we can
at a
walk and
time.
talk.
Well, then why don't we keep walking while Devere gives you the fine ins and outs of court life, eh?
Is this where we get concubines?
Maybe if you're lucky. I will teach you, Thane, how to react to a bow and how to, this is how my queen does it. Just be respectful, as people should bow to you.
Do you realize that growing up we kind of find this stuff nonsensical, but okay.
So you guys get to the entrance to what must be the palace, which isn't, it's more like a combination of a really impressive roundhouse with a bit of a, beer hall feel to it. Like it's not a palace, it's not a castle, but it is the biggest building in the city. And standing on the stairs is a beautiful woman, young lady, surrounded by courtiers who looks like this. Navri.
Yes.
We'll call it a sanity save.
Should be a lot of that today.
07.
So you don't make an ass of yourself. You don't let your tongue fall out. You don't fall to your knees and profess undying love. But something inside you, when you see her, goes. It's like she is the sun all of a sudden to you. She is radiant. She is the most beautiful creature you have ever seen in all of your existence. And she smiles and she says in a very soft voice, "Greetings, High King. I am the Princess Siobhan of Ayre, sister to the king, and I and my ladies in waiting are here to escort you before His Majesty, my brother."
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Yeah.
And then all of them do a nice, elegant, deep, swooping bow to you.
Now you just sort of.
I'm looking at Devere right now. Like, what do I do?
Just Navri can't help himself.
Just sort of a little nod of the head, just a respectful nod of the head.
Thank you.
Navri can't really help himself.
So
He just sort of automatically mimics what they're doing.
Fair enough. And with that, they unbow, and she goes, "If you and your entourage would be so good as to follow me."
Yes, let's go.
And he
Let's go.
slaps you on the back again. And you guys get led inside. So it's stone and wattle and clay, and daub. It's very, very old construction style. It's not as advanced as gracious as Palabria. But it is quite nice in its own way. And she leads you down a corridor. There are hounds everywhere. And, Beast is busy running back and forth, saying hello to each of them as you progress. There are guards all the way down the aisle. And then eventually you get to a set of double doors as she's walking, and two guards open the double doors, and you step into the throne room.
Thank you.
There are people all around you, and seated on the throne is this man. And he stands, and he smiles, and he says, "Hail and well met, High King of Albana. I, Cian, second of his name, King of Ayre, am your most humble servant." And he bows, and everybody in the place bows at the same time when he does it.
Thank you. Good day, King. Good to meet you.
He stands back up. "You are welcome in our city, in our country, in our lands, and in our hearts. Your coming has been foretold in the stars, in the leaves, in the water, in the sky, and we are most gracious that you have come to see us. We'll have affairs of state to discuss, I am sure, and many things to do. But first, you must be tired, hungry, and perhaps in need of a bath. If I may be so bold, Your Majesty."
I agree completely. To be fair, how long did we walk to get here?
Probably about a day and a half.
Okay.
Plus
from the ferry circle, about a day and a half.
Yeah, from the ferry circle, it's been about 4 days since the shipwreck, basically.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yes, I could really use a bath, and thank you for your hospitality.
So with that, they all, servants come and start escorting each of you away to a bathtub, and fresh clothing and food is put out for you, and beautiful, wonderful thistle tea and things like that. It's quite lovely. Thistle tea with cloves. And any type of, there's venison and cheese and hard fruits like apples and stuff like that. And, basically they feed you good peasant bread. And about an hour or two later, you're all cleaned up, you're all polished up. Any wounds that anybody has have been looked at, and poultices have been applied, or creams have been rubbed, and what have you. And clean clothing has been given to you all. And then eventually you are brought not back to the throne room, but to a side room, which appears to be some sort of audience chamber for the king. And you enter, and he is waiting for you, talking with Philip. Ah, well, there you are. If we'd be so good as to have introductions all around.
I am High King Athane. With me is Laurelin, Sir Gerhardt, Sir Devere, and Sir Navri.
And the boy?
Sir Perrin.
Sir? Young for a knight, but well done. Start him fresh, I say, eh? Don't worry, Your Majesty. You get used to saying things like king and all that eventually. Your tongue will become accustomed to it. If I understand correctly from your accent and your behavior, you're Calethi, aren't you?
Yes.
This must be just a nightmare for you.
I'm very confused.
Pragmatism doesn't go far in royal circles. Perhaps that's why you are the High King, to bring a bit of sanity to all what we do on this island.
Well, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to learn, and if the Calethi way works, then that's the way forward, yes. But,
have a seat, please, everyone. And High King, you may sit at the head of the table. I'll sit at the opposite end.
I tentatively pull out the chair. And
you go to do that, and like a servant dashes over and pulls the chair for you.
Okay, I sit down.
Get used to this, Athane. Get used to this.
We do this as jokes back home, not as reality.
Well, it's real now. And it's as real as it's going to be. As you guys realize, when you're whispering in here, the way the sound travels in the circular room, everyone can hear everyone.
I flushed then.
Are you aware of the political climate we're looking at on the island as we speak? All right, then. Boys. And they basically pull on these two drapes, and a scroll on the wall, like a tapestry, goes, and it's a beautiful painting of Albana, the island itself.
Wow.
Well then, at fear of offending anyone, this is merely the political landscape, not a personal opinion. In the east of the island, we have the Palabrians, led by what is her name? Eowyn. Getting a little bit too close to the Ostradi, by the way, from what we were able to learn, and the Oscasians are pushing it along quite fine with their merchants' guilds and their banks. Davon is on the verge of civil war and collapse if the king dies heirless, which it looks like he's going to do. Caleth remains Caleth, pragmatic farmers doing nothing of anything. The Drailsmen apparently have pledged to you, according to, and he just holds up a scroll and then draws it. This missive I received by courier, and we here in Ayre are stuck between the Witch Queen of Brooka to the north, who has begun invading our cantons at the edge of the forest, and the Ishmiri to the south, and he looks directly at Navri, who would most desperately love to make pact with. This is the state of the island, High King. The Ostradi preparing perhaps a crusade that'll make what they did to the Erie Day look like a charming afternoon, and with Palabria on their side, it won't go well for the rest of us. Davin, the only hope we have to stand against them, about to fall, and the Oskimen pumping money into Palabria hand over fist. You couldn't have come at a worse time, or perhaps a better one.
You said Davon is an ally that's about to fall?
Davon has always been the ally of all of us here on the island. The King of Davon is a true and good man, but he is old. 70 winters he's seen. no heir. And when he dies without one, his knight commanders and vassals and lords will fall on each other, declaring themselves king. It'll be Escain all over again without the murder.
It seems we could use more allies.
Aye.
And if that falls, then it's, correct me if I'm wrong, but looking at your map here, if that falls, it seems like it's everybody for himself. But if
The
we can short...
Ostrati and the Palabrians will make deals with whichever warlords in Davin they feel will best ally to them. They'll secure that after a bloody war. Caliph, they'll steamroll right over you. Open lands like that, flat terrain, not much for fighting. We'll tie him up in the forest, but if we are harassed from the north by the Witch Queen, we'll fall in time too, and that will leave just the Ishmiri to defend the island. And given your current King Tanir isn't one for Albana, but seeks to reconnect to Beshan in the south, perhaps he'll give up the ghost.
And Navri just sort of thinks like, yeah, it's not going to go great if things end up with just us.
Having heard all of this, I stand up and I stomp away from the table, clearly distressed at what I've heard.
Have I offended your knight commander, your highness?
Everybody offends him.
Otherwise, Palabrian. They're easy to offend. Just wear the wrong color and say hello the wrong way, and there they are off to their pomp and circumstance.
Yes, you understand quite well, I see.
I don't know the whole... I don't understand this politicking, but I do understand friends and I do understand allies, and it seems to me that that should be our first goal, is getting more allies.
Well, Drael has sworn to you. Ayre will swear as well. That's 2. I figure there's no man better than you to bring Caliph to the cause. The King of Caliph is a pragmatic man. He'll understand if you explain it to him, especially since you can speak the language he speaks. Perhaps our young Ishmiri fellow will be a benefit to us. I would ask. From here.
And I will do my best for the High King.
Not head east to Caliph, but head further south to Ishmir and secure the alliance. If Drael, Ayre, and Ishmir guard the west, and Caliph joins us, the line is drawn, and only what the fate of Davin is will decide things. But the Witch Queen is on the move, and she's not taking no for an answer.
Is it not possible to arrange to forge an alliance with my people against the Witch Queen?
Alas, no, because of her. The Red Queen has a penchant for the Ostrati that worries the rest of us. No offense, as he looks at Sir Gerhard. The Ostrati don't believe in the Pendrick Reformation or the Elysian Catholic Church, and they sure don't believe in the Pendrick cycle. And right now, the only thing keeping them from moving westward is the heavy cavalry of Davin. But if Davin falls, or Davin aligns itself with them, they will be an unstoppable force, and the fields of Caliph will run red with blood.
If I'm the High King, and you said that Davon would support, can't I assign a king?
Well, it doesn't quite work like that, Your Grace.
Oh.
Marge the pity. Under the Treaty of the Treaty of Isley, that all kingdoms of the island have signed, which will get you a copy to read. I think it's important that you be aware of it and what rules are applied. The right of sovereign determination is of each kingdom. The High King may not interject itself in those things. Now, Harrick is a good man, but he's old. He lost his love in his youth, and he never married again, and he's refused every hand proposed to him. And now, In his 70th winter, we don't think he's going to see a 71st and surely not a 72nd. No heir. Hungry warlords with armies of knights. Champing at the bit.
Can't we give them something to chomp on?
Well, if we could move them towards the Witch Queen, we would have something. But if you move on the Witch Queen with the forces of the East, the Ostradi, the Palabrians, funded by the Oski, will take Davin and continue. And we'll be back in the same problem we had before. The Witch Queen cannot be faced without a united island.
What
You're
about
going to have to convince the Queen in red, Eowyn, to recognize you as High King.
Sir DeVere? Sir DeVere?
I fear it may be difficult. As I said, our society is structured.
Yes, but
Aren't
you
you
said
part of the
yourself
structure?
that,
I
you
am.
know, the High King is above merely a king, so surely they should fall in line with that, no?
That is true. Whether she will listen to me, I do not know. She will listen, though, to formal, structured requests.
What about that Knight Commander?
Maybe. The old way of uniting kingdoms is through marriage.
Aye.
Would it not be possible to arrange something? Ithane?
Well, you know as well as I do that Eowyn only will see herself as High Queen of Albana. So, Your Majesty, are you prepared to marry the Queen of Palabria to secure the island and the alliance?
I'll think about it.
Well, don't think too long. The Primarch in Ostrad is making great strides towards a solid union with Palabria.
If I say yes to this right now, there are other options I don't think we've probably looked at. If I say no to this right now, I'm saying no to something that hasn't even been asked. I want to talk. I want to talk to these folks, guys, about it.
The room is yours. Everyone, we head out now and just have the boy come out and tell us when you're done. Your Grace. And he bows as everybody else bows, and they file out of the room.
Oh, God.
I cannot guarantee that she will be open to such a direct request.
These are the stories that I'm told as a child that always turned out bad. And now I'm living one.
If she wishes to see herself as the High Queen, though, then surely she'd be wanting to gain favor with the
I
High
have a High Queen already.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
You
what
do?
about your possible heir?
I have a High Queen already.
You do?
Be that
Who have
as
you
it
chosen?
may, my king, she doesn't know that. So she could still be trying to gain favor with you, and you could allow this to happen
So you saying string her on?
for the time being, for the sake of Albana, my king.
Where is your honor, Navri?
It's not about
No.
honor. This is about the entire world.
If he is to marry my queen, he must be true to himself and true to her. She deserves more than that.
I'm
Is this
not
one of
saying
those-
he has
oh.
to marry her.
Time. Sorry,
Hold
guys. Cody. Laurelin knows for sure, despite his love for her, Esmeralda, there is no way in hell Albana will accept a Jito traveler as their High Queen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I should be laughing because I know this, but
Sometimes you must put your own feelings to one side.
And
the good of
this
the
is
land.
why I hate those stories, and this is why we avoid them. And while King
You are the High King. You cannot
Sion-
avoid them.
Well, did a good job
And
so
this is
far.
not merely a story. This is real life. This is our lives.
Saw it.
You see, Laurelin, by the way, he hasn't changed at all. And he's just been sipping on some kind of foul brew and smoking at the same time and just sitting in the corner. My king, if I may, there's a time to use your heart and a time to use your head.
Sorry, did you guys keep Philip in the room, or did you send him out as well?
I would keep him in the room, but I don't know about anybody else.
He's just writing in a book while watching you.
So, all the nonsense that we mock, that we look at, oh, give up your life, but it's for the betterment of all, which ends up usually not being true. That's what you're saying is happening in this case.
It's because your mockery is misplaced. Maybe maybe you're starting to understand that now.
I think the mockery fits even more. like again, life is short. Life is to be free and to live, and to help your neighbor and kill your enemies, and now you're telling me I have to give up basically my life.
Such is the price of responsibility.
I didn't ask for this.
Nobody chooses to be born into such a position.
Sounds like a cop-out. So you're all telling me that what you think I need to do in order to save the island is I need to marry Sir De Vere's queen.
This is merely a possibility, High King, but it may very well be the best one. But I think, as you said, we should explore the other options.
Which are?
Vortigern's Ayre is a headstrong lass. Shall not be easily seduced or wooed, Thane.
No, she's probably going to try to look at me and see what she can get out of me and kill me and take over.
But if you're in a position of strength, my lord, she may view more highly on you.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
You'll need Ishmir. There's no way you can do it without Ishmir and Kala. And then you'll have to save Davin.
Calith will join for the purposes of not getting steamrolled. But for any other purpose, I think it'll be laughter and merriment. I don't know about Ishmir, Navri.
I think the best thing for me to do would be to return to my father first and let him know of everything that's happened on the travels, so he may be able to advise me the best.
Your father is back at the battlefields. From here, a month of travel at the very least. We don't have time for you to consult with your father, boy. It's time for you to be a man.
Can we send a message to the queen?
Cross all of Albana?
Well, just get a message to her somehow while we go in a different direction and try to solidify other friends.
I can go, if you would have it of me, your highness. I can go. And he walks over to the map. Let us take a moment to look at what we see. Let us think about what this is. We are here. This is our position. We must head south to Ishmir. We have no choice. From there, east to Calith. Davon sits in the balance, and beneath it, Palabria waits, and to the north, Day under Astradi control. Might as well be called Astrad at this point. And never forget to the south, the Oski wait with funds, ships, and mercenaries from the continent.
How do we entertain them?
Them, They only speak one language, my lord. Money. The Oski, my lord, are the lock, stock, and barrel owned by the Othasians on the continent. Had we a connection in the nobility of Othay, we might have some sway. But without at least half the island recognizing you, the Othasians will not recognize your claim to High King. Sadly. But I will go to the Queen of Palabria for you, under your flag. I will need you to do some things before we go. You will have to choose your colors, choose your standard, and from all the men assembled and the drailsmen who are on their way, give me a force, small but respectable to travel with. Show power as I cross the island in your name. Or I'll just go charm her and give her some wine.
My people do indeed respect military power.
Seems everybody does. So am I really these kings will give up their people to me, take them from their homes, take them from defending their land, their kids, their wives, and I send them to Palabria?
According to the Pendrick cycle, you will unite the island, and then you will retame Escape, which we all had the pleasure of traveling through and know what a nightmare scenario that is. The High King holds no lands except Escape. Therefore, once you tame Escape with the forces of the island at your disposal, Albana is united. The High King ruling over the other kings. The problem is the Witch Queen of Brooka. That will be the fight of your life. Oh, Laurelin, and he tears off a piece of his robe and throws a strip of cloth at you. Bind those eyes. You look horrific. We're not here to frighten children or women.
All right, Sir Devere, how big of a force would Philip need to show enough respect?
Several hundred, properly kitted out, properly organized. And then we could at least look professional.
We would need minstrels, courtiers, women. This isn't an army we're going to take. It's going to be an entourage. More peasantry than power, if you understand.
So he needs a traveling circus.
That's a term for it.
Wagons, supplies.
Yes.
Okay, so people are going to listen to me when I ask for that, but they're also going to want to get paid.
No, they won't.
They won't?
Their coin is the coin that is paid into your coffers as High King. They see this as purchasing favor with you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is so weird.
Once you have your throne, once you've established your kingdom, then the coins will flow. But until that time, they are buying purchase in your court.
Well, let's.
Tradesmen want the mercantile contracts, I guarantee you. Ayre will want your pledge to protect them from Brooka. Ishmir, unknown. They are the Ishmiri. They are, no offense, Navri, strange in their ways.
They can be somewhat unpredictable, yes.
Caleth, you know as well as I, will just say, here's a couple thousand pikemen and stay out of our business. But Davin needs to be saved. Lose Davin, lose the island.
Sir Devere, can you get that entourage put together?
Yes, my lord.
I will write letters, one to the King of Calith and one to Palabria. And I will also write one to Henrik in Davin And when we get closer, we'll send a smaller group to Davin to take your message to you. And then I will await you in Queensport.
I feel it would be easier for me to do that if I was to bear your standard. So now, as has already been said, we need to decide on what your standard will be, what the colours of the High King will be.
Traditionally, you would pick 3 colors.
Okay, so at least from a Kalethi perspective, when the Pendrick cycle is discussed, what 3 colors in that regard are books tend to be bound in, or do people talk about, or are wishful thinking from back in the past the standard of whomever? What 3 colors?
I can tell you what the colors of Caleth are, if that helps.
I wouldn't want to just focus
but
on...
that way you can avoid that sort of a thing. The 3 colors of Caleth are gold, brown, and cream. Okay? The gold representing the wheat and the crops, the brown representing the earth, and cream representing the beautiful cloudy skies and winters and all the wonder of the cattle and everything else. The cream color represents the life that Caleth is.
Okay. Who do we know for sure our allies are again?
Trail and Ayre.
Trail and Ayre. What are their colors?
Drael has no colors because they're Northmen and they think that's silly. The only color they care about is iron, steel, and blood, right? And the sea. So the best you could say for them is that their color is going to be sea green as a regular thing because they worship the sea, they sail the sea, they are Draelsmen. Ayre is cream, green, and gold.
But gold would offend the
Ishmiri.
Yeah.
Ishmiri, yeah.
Because the Zahirim believe gold is the color of God, therefore is Zahir
No humans allowed to wear it.
Yeah, they must wear silver.
What ancient, and I'm asking this to in character.
Sure.
What?
Oh, by the way, guys, real quick, unless I correct you because of lore that I've already written down, feel free to embellish and make shit up. I want you to feel free role playing in that regard. Okay, so Cody, you can feel free to drag shit out of your ass. Any of you guys, have fun with this.
Got it.
What icon or animal or not religious because we know we'll get crucified represents our island?
Oh, now that, Cody, Pendria, the Isles, Albana are the Pendrick Isles, and they are named so for the Pendria, which is the butterfly that only lives on these isles and literally migrates across the ocean to Beshan, far to the south, and then back to the island every year. Like, these butterfly legitimately fly across an ocean to get back to the island every year. And
they still do this? They're still around?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Vortigern, in his rebellion, used the Pendrick butterfly as his standard.
What about the ancient butterflies, my lord?
The butterfly?
Yes.
Doesn't seem intense.
So Philip looks at you, Laurelin. I see where you're going. It's got tradition behind it, that's for sure.
What was the old traditional colors of the old High King?
The old High King was purple, black, and gold, because those are the colors of the butterfly.
What about red?
Calabria uses red. Othay uses red. Oske uses red. Davon uses red. And
my family made its fortune with red dye and red cloth.
And the reason they all use red is because those are, like, even Vortigern, his royal colors were red, gold, and blue. Those were his personal colors that he wore before he became king. But red on Albana and even in all of the West and the continent Negos, red signifies a war state, a state that uses its fist and will, America. It represents America.
Do any of them have purple?
On the island, no.
High King, may I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Of using your own color, so a color that no one has ever used before. Then you would really stand out.
Combine it with red. Red is a color of power. We must make our mark and let those who are not on the island know that we are a force.
I would say
But
also
we need them to know that we're a
find
force.
a balance between all these colors and symbols, so that all the lands, all the peoples here on the island can relate to it. Power is good, but you must also have peace in there, prosperity, and relate to the common man.
The one true religion brings peace to those who accept it.
And
What is the color of peace?
We speak, Devere. You would force your Othasian Catholicism down the throats of the Pendrick Reform or the Zahiric in Ishmir? And what will the Ostradi, sitting in Uriday, waiting for a reason to declare holy war on the island, think at that moment in time? Am I right, Gerhardt, or am I wrong?
You are correct.
And also maybe colors that are neutral.
Neutral.
I was actually is this neutral? White, black, butterfly, and then a stripe in between the white and black.
A
What
fine
color is
choice.
the stripe?
But I don't know what color to put there. Something that I don't want. I mean, you said a lot of people use red, but red indicates war.
What
I don't
about
want to look.
purple, my lord?
What's that?
Purple, as young Navri suggested. A fine color, a regal color, but also the color of the Pendrick butterfly.
And the color of God. Do you
If you
So
make
white-
the red,
for God, King of Day?
the war of red with the piece of that creates purple. Is that not the balance between the two, Laurelin? Would you say?
That
I
flowers
mean, one
me
could
purple.
argue that white could also be associated with peace, but
Okay, well,
Purity.
I don't want to spend a lot of time on this.
Then decide.
We need white. We need black. And we need a purple butterfly.
So be it, Your Highness. With your permission, I will go and see to the artisans and have them create something for you. Very well. Gentlemen,
Thank you.
it has been a pleasure to be in your company once again, but for now I will walk away and return when I have something for you. Shall
good to
I let
see
the
you
king know
jovial
when
as
we
always,
return?
Philip.
Well, before the king comes back, I want to talk with Navri.
Very good.
Very
Send
well,
the boy out
Patrick.
when you're ready for the king.
So Navri, if we're going to Ishmir, which it seems like we're going to have to do, how can we go in there and make this as quick as possible so that the Witch of the North doesn't act before we're ready?
Religion and things like that aside, I believe that everyone understands the concept of war and why it's not a good thing. And I think if we lead with that, then we'll get somewhere.
But isn't your territory so far? One of the things we do in Colette was we just say that crap's so far away from us, we don't care. I mean, if the Witch of the North, if she comes down,
Well,
why would they care?
The witch queen of them, therefore, an evil to be stopped.
Plus, once Ayre falls, it's a straight shot into Ishmir.
Yeah, it's not like she's gonna go over the mountains. I get it. Okay.
And also, yes.
And then once she has Ishmir, turn east across Caliph and on her way.
So what do I need to do to convince them? Because religion isn't going to be my strong point.
We are not there on the basis of religion. We're there on the basis of preventing or, fighting in a war.
If they make it about religion.
I will do my best to, help you in whatever way I can to perhaps be like the mediator between you and them, if need be.
Okay.
There's at the door.
Somebody want to get that?
Oh, as you wish.
Devere, like,
No, send Perrin. Perrin. Yes.
Chevalier. So he runs across his little legs to the door, and he opens the door, and there's a lady, one of the ladies in waiting there, and she looks at him, and then she looks at the room. She goes, "I've been sent to see the Ishmiri nun."
And I just stare at her, like sort of awestruck.
Well, this is just one of the ladies in waiting. This isn't the princess.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. In that case, I sort of look at her like, "Oh, yeah, she's all right, yeah," but not too interested.
May I enter, or shall I wait here at the door? Your lords.
Come on in. Come on.
Your Majesty. And she sort of bows and scrapes, and then she crosses the room, bows to the king, and then turns to Navri and goes, "My lady, Princess Siobhan, gives you this gift." And she holds out just a tunic.
Oh, to me? Oh, she shouldn't have. That's rather kind. I'm looking at it. And what does
Have
it
you
look
anything for me to return to her with, words or something?
I mean, if you could possibly, if it's not too forward, if you could possibly, and I'm sort of like sweating a little bit now. If you could possibly, I don't know, arrange a meeting with her, perhaps.
So Devere,
and you could.
hang on, hold that thought. Devere, one, courtly. That's rude. Two, not sending a gift back is like saying, "Yeah, thanks, fuck off."
Navri. She has, through kindness of her heart and maybe a certain fondness, sent you something, a token to think of her by. Maybe you should return the favor.
No, of course. How silly of me. And give me a second. Okay. So he's wearing like which he got from his mother, and is really precious to him. But it's the only thing he thinks that it's worth giving, if that makes sense, because it's so precious.
Okay.
So he thinks about it for a few seconds. It off. Please give this to her.
So it's basically a braided chain of silver with like 3 braids and quite nice and solid and pure silver. So she puts it on the pillow and she's like, "Thank you, my lord. She would know what name to call you by."
The name is Navri Ishmitar.
Navri
And please tell her,
Ishmitar.
thank you. I really appreciate it.
I shall deliver your gift and your message, Lord Navri Ishmitar.
Sir,
Yes,
Sir Navri.
Sir Navri Ishmitar. With your permission, lords and your majesty, I will depart the room then. And she bows and backs out of the room, bowing all the way until the doors close behind her. And Perrin just looks like, what the hell was that all about? Like, he just looks completely confused. And goes back to sitting on a chair.
Navri's just looking at everyone. I'm getting laid.
So
like...
what she gave you is a really nice tunic of the green of Ayre with knotwork embroidered in cream. There is no gold anywhere on it.
Oh.
Even though their colors are gold, green, and cream.
I'm just observing it really carefully to make sure there's no gold on it, because surely it can't be this good. There has to be something wrong with this, surely. I mean, the colors are gold. But I can't see any on it. Oh, how very thoughtful
That's
of
pretty.
her.
That's pretty awesome. Well, I won't take any more of your time. You got things to do. It looks like. I guess we get the king back in here tell him
Look.
our plan? Is this a plan? Our edict?
It sounds like a fine plan, my lord.
Our
but- and make one more
royal
suggestion.
maneuverings?
Yeah, Navri's just going to wipe the sweat from his brow and be like, yes, High King. Yes, I agree.
I think there's one more thing to do, your lord. Since you've already said Gerhard here is a sir, I think it's only right to make it official, is it not? I think he's proven himself, and he is part of your entourage now. Your
What do I
court,
do?
It is.
That sword of yours, touch him on the shoulders, and you declare him to be a knight.
Oh, that sounds easy. Okay.
You're leaving out the most important part, Devere.
Oh, he has to bow. He has to kneel before you as you do it.
And then he has to slap him across the face with the blade and say, "Let that be the last hit you take unavenged."
Oh, I didn't
Can we
know that.
practice this a couple of times before I do that?
You have the perfect sword to do this with.
Okay, if that's what I need to do. I didn't know it wasn't official, but okay.
Is that
Kara,
how
are
we
you
do
okay
it
with
in,
this?
Ishmir?
I walk over.
There?
No,
You-
that's not how you do it in Ishmir.
I'm gonna walk over
So
and kneel before him.
In Ishmir, you're anointed and you pray, and it's a whole ordeal.
All right. Well, if I don't do this right, we'll do it again. And okay, what do I say again?
So Gerhard kneels in front of you.
Is
Okay.
your heart kneeling?
Okay, so you tap him lightly on each shoulder, point of the sword,
Mhm.
and as
And then you say,
Slap.
"In the name of the High King of Albana and of God Almighty." Don't
In the name of
forget
High
those
King
important
of
parts.
Albana and God Almighty.
I declare you to be a knight of the realm, arise, Sir Gerhard Bach.
Wait. I declare you to be a knight of the realms. Stand to rise, Sir Gerhardt.
And then you do the slap on the side of the face with the
Gently.
blade. Gently, yes.
Yeah.
And let that be the last blow you take unavenged.
Yeah, I mean, yes, let that be the last blow you take unavenged.
So you're
Write
doing
all
it,
this.
or was that you doing it as you were talking about it?
No. Well, it's. I told him that I'm going to do it, but if it isn't good enough, I'll do it again.
All right. When he says, "Let that be the last blow you take unavenged," in your head you hear, "Oh, that's done finally. Good luck, boy. Your future is your own now." All the light in the room, Gerhardt, increases. And you can hear, at the edge of your hearing, the sound of chorus, of choral singing. And in front of you, the room is gone, and there is a glowing crown floating in light emanating from it, and you hear a voice saying, "The fallen Templar redeemed, rise, first paladin of God."
I rise.
You guys see him as he stands, and for the first time since you've seen him, he looks a little taller, a little more. There's just something about him that's changed. Laurelin, you see all of this. It's like, oh, and you have to turn away from the light. It hurts. And every time you look at him now, it's uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Gerhardt is like, they don't see it, but he has an incandescent glow to you.
Well, I think that was the right decision. Go back and sit in my corner, facing away from him.
Well, Gerhard, I'm glad you were my first, and I hope I didn't embarrass you.
I was fine up until the very end about being the first. Sorry, that's a joke.
Well,
Get it.
I mean, They're already knights. I thought you were a knight.
No, I was just a soldier until now. Thanks.
Oh.
They're holy warriors of Ostrad, the Templars.
The crucifying people.
That's right.
Well, let's get that king in here. Tell him our plan. I'm confused. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to have a nice, good night. So you guys go do what it is that you're supposed to be doing, and not talk about world-ending politics and witch queens and old guys that are about to die.
I'm right where I belong.
Oh,
Are
I'm
you
sorry. He's that side.
Are you sending Perrin to get the king?
Yes.
So he nods and dashes out the door.
Ithane, High King, sir. Do you think it would be misplaced to arrange some form of celebration that we have come to a plan, possibly to save the land?
A party? Yeah, let's do that.
And to possibly unite the people? And I'll lean forward and whisper, and might give young Navri a chance to speak with this lady friend.
Oh, I thought he was going to do that anyway, but okay, yeah, let's do that.
No. I mean, a courtly dance.
Well, that's why I was
perfect
trying
way.
to end this so he had time. But okay, yeah, let's do that.
So Gerard,
King
yes,
comes back
please.
in and goes, "Your Grace," looks at Gerhard and goes, "Ministers of grace and angels preserve us. Well, you have changed, my friend.
He does look taller, doesn't he?
He's been touched. That's what he's been. Your Highness, what now, Lord?"
I think we've come up with the best plan that we can on short notice. Well, first of all, we need I forget what it's called.
Feast.
Feast. I thought it was a shorter word than that. Fate. Well, a party. We want to have a party. We're going to start. This is going to be the place where we set off, and we're going to celebrate the reuniting of the island from here. Philip is going to ask for some things. He's putting a list together that we need. We are eventually going to head south, but before then, it's time to proclaim our intentions. And I hope I don't get assassinated.
You'll no be assassinated here, Your Highness. All of Ayre stands with you now. And we will certainly throw a feast in honor of your quest. May the High King live forever.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Gentlemen, then, my people await. Whatever you need, they'll take care of. If the king and I could have the room, please.
Of course.
Is that okay with you,
Did
High
I do
King?
something wrong? Well, yes, of course.
Okay.
So
Slip
when
out of
everybody
the room.
leaves,
I will insist on standing guard outside the door.
that's fine. Oh, thank you, Mercurius. Appreciate that. And Sacred Geek got 1 membership. Very kind of you. And he just goes, Ishmael is going to be a hard sell. They've been eyeing our southern lands for the better part of 2 decades now. My father barely kept them at bay.
Other than your lands, what is it that they want?
You know, they want our lands. There's nothing else they want from us other than our lands. It's good timber. They want to cut it all down. And we won't let that happen. We protect the forest. Wattle, daub, and stone are what we build with here. Wood is a rare choice, and then only fallen wood.
What makes that wood so precious to you?
The forests of Ayre have stood as long as the island of Albana has been in existence. We are Pendrick Reform, but we also respect the Lady Ketakoi. That's why we've got the unicorn on the flag, after all. And I know the rest of the island laughs up their sleeve at us and snickers and says, oh, those Iremen with their fancy ways and their fairies and their believing and all of that stuff. But I get the impression we're not crazy.
This is all crazy. Okay.
Fair enough.
I will keep that in consideration, but we have to try, and apparently some of us have to make sacrifices, and we'll have to figure out what that is as we move forward.
Tonight we'll celebrate. It's also midsummer, which is not celebrated in the calendar anymore, but for us it is a very important festival.
Well, let's make that a new holiday island-wide.
At the dawn, you and I have business to attend to. You and I, of your people. But that's for the dawn. Now then, and he sort of throws an arm around you. Let's get drunk. He just walks outside with you.
It was Sir DeVere at the door. I'm going to look at it. I think I made a holiday.
Excellent.
All right. If nobody's got any other plans, we're going to say you spend the rest of the day getting ready for a celebration. Philip shows you some examples of what the artisans have quickly drawn up and sketched up for you, like with, colored, markings and paint to sort of give you ideas of standard. There's 2 or 3 of them, and it'll be up to you to pick the one you like. And then once you pick the one you like, they send that off to the stitching people to go make something for you. And with that, we will take our bio break now. It is 4:37 in the east. Come back at, we'll say 15 minutes, so just 55. Come back at 55. All right? Thank you, gentlemen. We'll see you in about 15 minutes.
Excellent.
All right, well, Navi, you're having a good night.
Yes, the internet is good, thanks to Bear's suggestion. Would you believe it? It wasn't the internet, it was the browser.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying me actually being here for more than 30 seconds at a time.
Absolutely. I'm trying to find way. The thing is Athane himself has talked to DeVere way more than you, so I have to think of it as his comfort level. But I'm trying to do things like, hey, let's get Navi.
I appreciate it. It's good.
It's
good
so
to be
hard.
More involved because I actually can.
Yeah, no, that's great. I as a player, I really like that. It is so hard for me to do the Athane is confused, but I have to grow him thing because Athane is not me, and some of this is very difficult for me. Like, oh wait, I can't say that. Oh wait, I can't do that.
Every session, because you are finding that sort of. Every session, you get a bit more authoritative, only a bit, but.
Yes. And I also have to balance it between the fact that we only get these 3-4 hour sessions once a month, so I can't drag my feet on this and be completely stupid and naive, for the next 3 years. So yeah. Yeah, what browser did you ditch?
So I'd use Google Chrome, but then I tried Firefox and Edge and whatever, and none of them seemed to hold it. Then Brave, so I did, and Brave.
Oh,
absolutely perfect.
That's weird because that's what I'm using. I'm using Brave. Anything Legion of Myth is Brave, so yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'd literally never heard of it for whatever reason, but I'm glad Bear suggested it. So yeah.
Sweet. All right, I'm gonna step away for a moment, and I will be back.
See you in a bit.
Having fun, you man?
Very much so, because especially I don't have to deal with the internet problems, and I can take part now, actually, because I'm here all of the time. Because dropping in and out, I miss certain bits, and it's I don't quite know what to say or the best thing to do in the situation, but now it's all right, perfect. Now I can actually role play. So, hope you've been enjoying it. I'm trying to have more input because I actually can, if you get my drift.
I am quite enjoying it. No, Brave is derived from Chrome, I think.
Really?
I think it is. I don't know. It works. That's all I know.
It does, and I'm freaking glad. So thank you very much, sir.
It blocks a ton of bullshit. Like, it's a great browser. It's not perfect, but it's good.
It's the one I use.
It's the one I will use from now on. I'll tell you that. But yeah, no, it's fantastic, Bear. Thank you so much. And the session, great as always.
I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
It helps to not have to deal with internet issues, and I can enjoy the full experience.
The full experience.
The full Bear GMing experience. Which, by the way, I'm looking forward to in 2 weeks' time as well.
Oh, yes, we'll get your heroic game going.
And don't worry, I am also working on why I want to choose the character that I chose. So I will get that to you.
I'll be right back. I need coffee.
Cool. Okay, so Brave is derived from Chrome, but it seems to work so much better than Chrome, especially for this. I will also be back in a few minutes, but hope you're all enjoying it. I'll catch you soon.
And how about all you people at home? Are you enjoying the game so far? How do you feel it's going? So, did you get all the role playing you wanted done?
Yeah, it went a little differently than I'd expected, but it actually went better than I expected. So, yeah, all the other stuff. I mean, just like the whole boot thing. Yeah, that went.
It was quite weird, by the way. You don't ever get to tell Cody he's weird.
It was just a boot. I didn't take out an eye.
It was still pretty weird.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about the whole, kiss my feet thing, but I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So I went with what I considered was like the next best thing, so to speak, on there. Like, okay, let's see how far I can push this hiking. And they did. I was expecting somebody, at least one, to say no, and that's what I was more prepared for. When everybody said yes, okay, well, let's move on then.
I'm glad everybody in the chat's enjoying it. They're on a quest.
Who's the largest is Gerhardt the largest?
Of the people?
Yeah, of the characters?
I think so. I don't know what his size is, but yeah, I think he is.
Okay. And I have stuff on my character sheet written down that I'm not sure if that gets zeroed out between sessions or not, such as luck expenditure and sanity.
Sanity doesn't get zeroed out.
So I went from 55 to 54 last time. I lost one, so it stays at 54?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Luck replenishes, though.
Luck replenishes? All right.
How you doing, Cody?
I'm doing all right.
You've been so quiet for the most part. This new version of Laurelin is quite eerie.
As a player, I think it's great. As a character, Athane hates it. Athane is like, when you talk, you're creepy, but when you don't talk, I think I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, I almost feel like I have to go full cosplay now and get like a robe where nobody can read my expression like a...
Just don't go total method actor and gouge your own eyes out.
Hey, you know what? If you're really true to the role,
get yourself a nice thin piece of linen that you can see through and bind your eyes.
I was thinking that actually. That'd be fun.
I'm running on a Tuesday night at the moment the Blood Red Fez in Call of Cthulhu.
So Garth on Legion of Myth, he wore a fez for all of his Earthdawn sessions because his orc wore one, and he actually wore a fez to every session.
Problem I'm having though is I've got a very, very fat melon head, and this one size fits all fez doesn't fit properly.
You are 100% a hobbit, sir.
Wow.
Oh no, I've met him. What are you, 5'5"?
I peaked at 5'5.5".
There we go.
Yeah, they're giving me crap. I don't know if you saw the picture in the oh no, you're not in the after show group, are you? I could post it in the Codex Albana because Brian came out this way, and they're like, "Man, Max is such a midget." I'm like, "I'm average height. What do you want?"
Average, yeah, sure.
Yes, it was at Clericon with you at 6'2". You've probably shrunk to 6'2" now, I'd say, Bear.
About 6'2.5". My spine is starting to compress in my age.
Sean's definitely a good 6. I think he's a solid 6'3". I think Sean is. I think he's.
Yeah. Father Aaron's easily 6'3" as well.
Yeah, I'd say 6'2", 6'3". Yeah, and the three of you, and I'm just sort of stood there in the middle, going, "Yes."
I don't have any treats. What do you want?
Well.
I had fun at Clericon. I'm looking forward to next year.
Good. And it was your first convention, wasn't it?
Yep.
I remember we had a stream about conventions, and you were like, "Well, this is no good. I've never been to one." Well, now you have, and now you've run a game at a convention. You've experienced. Okay, it's a small one, sort of 50, 60 people on the Saturday,
fun.
but it was good. But I think it's better when it's smaller like that.
I
I
agree.
would say there was a lot of truth to that.
There was no nerd rage in sight. No tables were flipped. No stroppiness.
No,
Everyone just
no excessive BO.
nothing like that at all. No, it was good.
Okay,
It
that
was-
isn't a convention. Then where did you really go?
It's Canada.
Oh, okay.
It was very chill, very chill.
Very, very chill.
Everyone was just there to play and enjoy games, and we did. So, highly recommended. Force Father Aaron next year to hire out the town hall in addition to his church hall by increasing the numbers. Come along. If I can travel 3,500 miles, I think I've worked it out, then the rest of you can. Certainly.
Oh, yeah.
Last time I did that, I was in Germany. I went to Gen Con when I was in Germany.
Cool. How tiring is it afterwards, though? How long does it take your body to get back to normal afterwards? For me, it was brutal because I was back at work the next day after I got back.
Oh, geez. Well, I went to Gen Con, and then I had a training class that I had to do in the States for a week in Wilmington, Virginia. So,
Right,
but I got sick at Gen Con, probably from going to the strip club. I got sick there. And I tell you what, man, I was one of the worst illnesses I had had. I'm pretty sure I had strep throat or something close to it. It was bad, but I couldn't skip the training class. It was mandatory. I had to go to it.
Looking forward to seeing you there, Squirrel.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, with me, it was. I got back, and I'd flown through the night, managed to get about an hour's sleep on the second flight from Iceland, and I forced myself to stay up until a typical bedtime on the Wednesday I got back, and I went back to work the next morning.
Jeez.
And I'd had 1 hour's sleep in about 37 hours when I went to bed on that Wednesday night. It took me about 4 or 5 days to feel remotely human again. But it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, today's kind of the first day that I feel normal after the 24-hour live stream.
Of course you did. Yeah, you did that recently. I popped. Yeah,
Monday.
yeah. A day when I'm not at work. Hey, for a change. My weekends are Mondays and Tuesdays. Yeah, I'm a weirdo.
Well, you should have came in and talked to us.
There he is.
I had things to be getting on with, but it was nice to be able to catch it
Fair
live. It was nice to be able to, if I hadn't have had a face-to-face game already organised for the Monday evening, I would have joined in Heathen Dog's Paranoia game. But I couldn't. The time
Everybody who was there, one person dropped out, so it would have been really great if you would have had one more. But with that said, all the players said it was a great session. I haven't seen it yet, but even Sean, I reached out to him. I said, "Hey, what were your thoughts?" And he's like, "Man, that was absolutely fantastic. I had a great time." I'm like, okay.
Well, I mean, the time picked would have been 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. my time here, and in our household rota, I cook on a Monday, so I could have guaranteed my wife and kids would have come home 5 o'clock, 5:30 on Friday, and been loudly shouted about wanting their dinner. I couldn't have guaranteed peace and quiet.
It's interesting that Restream kicked 2 people out. Like it only went to 4 instead of small 6.
It is what it is. Shall we continue the game?
Let's.
So, the Festival of Midsummer becoming now the first declared holiday of the High King. Midsummer from this day forward will be known as the High King's Holiday. Yeah, unless you die and you fail the pension cycles, and then it'll be something that happened once.
It'll
and
be
no one-
completely forgotten.
Exactly. It's quite an event. These people love to sing and dance and do all the crazy stuff that they do. They drink a lot. They play a lot of music. They do a lot of dancing. It's tremendously fun and very, very cool. At some point, Natalie,
Yes.
the princess approaches you. She bows to you and she says, "My lord, I present this for your approval." And she holds up a folded up piece of cloth with some green color on it.
So we're at the feast now, right?
At the feast, yes.
Okay, so I probably would have chosen to wear the tunic that she gave me.
Ooh, she's wearing the necklace.
Oh. Ah, thank you so much for this gift, princess. I really appreciate it. It was very thoughtful of you.
And I thank you for yours, Sir Ishmatar. But I would love your approval on this. And she's holding out a folded up piece of cloth to you.
Ooh. Thank you.
Apparently the cats don't like it.
So you unfold it,
So I'll have a look at it. Yeah.
and it's the flag of Ayre, except for two
Right.
things. The gold color has been replaced by a light gray representing silver, so it's green, white, and silver.
Mm.
And embroidered in the center is a circle of silver thread making the braided chain you gave her.
Oh.
My ladies worked hard on this, as per my instruction. With your approval, Sir Ishmatar, I will make this the official flag of the Princess of Ayre.
I don't know what to say. I'm honestly quite overwhelmed. This is really thoughtful of you.
Well, I would hope you'd say yes.
Yes, of course. I mean, you had my blessing. Please, call me
She
Navri.
smiles. As you wish, Sir Navri.
For you, just Navri is okay.
As you wish, Navri, and you may call me Siobhan when we're not in front of others, and Princess when we are.
Of course.
May I have a dance?
It would be my honor. I was just about to ask you.
Well, Ayre women are known for our forthrightness, and she takes you by the hand, and you guys all get to watch Navri learn how to dance like a crazy Irish person.
With 90 decks, I think he'd be all right.
Oh, you pick it up fair enough. And fast.
Do you want me to roll for it? I could certainly try.
No, you're fine. Gerhardt, everything is different now. Everything you look at, you can see it. Like, you can almost see the soul of the people you're looking at. And you can see that most of the souls here are rather pure. But when you look at Laurelin, his soul is darker than the others, and there are now veins of purple-black through it. And you can't turn it off. Like, no matter what you do, rub your eyes, whatever, you see this everywhere. Ethane's soul probably shines the brightest of the room. He is the most pure of all of them. And Gerard's, it dims, it shines, it dims, it shines. It seems to be having some problems. And Perrin's is pure white. Perrin's they come. And everybody around you is various. But this is what you're seeing now. Like, you're starting to see all of this around you.
Heavy. This is heavy. I am a little bit concerned seeing Laurelin and what he has around him. Fear I have to keep an eye on him. I'm not surprised with Devere. I wouldn't be surprised if it was more dark than light at times. The attitude. But seeing all the pure hearts makes me hopeful for the future.
Where Laurelin is sitting, all the cats of the keep have come to see him. Like, it's crazy. He's got like 10, 11 cats around him right now. And everybody in the place is giving him the widest of berth. Like, no one's going near him. Every now and then a servant gets nudged in his direction to bring him some wine or ale or something to eat, but otherwise everyone's avoiding him like the plague.
But
I'm
he's
going to
got
keep
the
a quiet eye
blindfold
on.
on now.
Doesn't matter, he's
Pistol?
creepy as fuck.
Okay, right. Just checking.
I'm going to keep a quiet eye on Navri. I want to see his progress with the young lady.
Well,
See how he's
as you're
doing.
keeping an eye on Navri, one of the ladies in waiting comes up and goes, "My lord, may I have a dance?"
Oh, but of course.
And with that, you all celebrate. Philip shows up with the stuff for you to choose your colors and flag.
Nice.
That's Andy put that together for you real fast, but we can, whip up something kinky later if we need to. But for now,
Sure.
I mean,
That's a good start to keep us moving. Yep.
And overall, the party goes very well. They may be forthright women, but she is a chaste woman, Navri. So there's no stolen kisses, and you're sleeping alone tonight. You just get that through your head real quick. Overall, everything goes well. In the wee hours of the morning, people start to filter off, and they're dropping out and all that kind of stuff. And eventually, the king walks up to you, Athane, and says, "Well then,
Thought we
shall
had until dawn.
Dawn's but 20 minutes away, and there's a wee bit of a walk ahead of us."
Oh man. All right. Yeah, let's do this.
Aye, we shall. So he leads you out of the keep, and just walking through the street, the streets of the village, and all that type of thing. It's a good size, probably maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people live here, type of thing. So it's not a huge city, but it's good sized. And eventually, he walks you over to where the gate on the eastern side is, and he walks out the gate, and then he starts going up a path in the hills. And about 20 minutes later, just as the sun is starting to, the first colors are peaking on the eastern horizon, which you can see quite nicely from your elevated position, there's an old wattle and daub roundhouse sitting there just on the edge. And he just looks and goes, "You got to go in?"
To do what?
That I don't know, but you got to go in.
A lot of things I have to do is hiking.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know the druids told me you have to go in there.
All right, Orlin. Well, I couldn't count on him anyway. All right, let's go in.
Oh no, you go by yourself and take with you only what you bring.
Well, yeah.
Good luck.
All right, I'm going in.
So you walk in, and there are torches burning in sconces all the way along inside. And it's hazy and smoky as you're walking through. And eventually the haze and smoke starts to burn your eyes, and the heat from the torches is getting stronger and stronger. And then you start to think maybe you're a little bit crazy because you can hear the sounds of battle around you.
And then draw my sword.
You get the smell in your nose of fire, blood, horses, metal. And then as you sort of do this with your eyes, you find yourself standing on a battlefield. And all around you is chaos, as this is just a full pitched night battle, fires burning everywhere. Men, you're outside. You're not inside this building anymore, for sure. And there's just a ton of fight happening all around you.
I'm just gonna right now stand there unless somebody attacks me. Actually, okay. People, are they literally like within arm's reach of me, or are they just kind of off around?
They're around. Like there's no one really around you.
Change of tactic, putting the sword back, getting the bow out, getting ready to go just in case. But
all of that, a hand goes on your shoulder, and as you turn, not quite as pretty as this picture would make him out to be. He's more looking like he's fresh in battle. You see a man who looks like this, standing looking at you. All around you is battle, and he says, in a very strong voice, "That's my sword you're carrying." The face immediately hits home for you because there are paintings of it. At one point, there were paintings everywhere on the island, and of late, they've been more and more and more been put away and hidden. But that's Vortigern, the rebel king, who died 20 some odd years ago, fighting overseas on the continent. And he just looks at you. "I never found it. It wasn't important to me, so I never went to get it. But I see you have it.
Thank you.
So you, Athane Kirby, are the High King that was promised. Is that it?"
How do you know who I am?
"I'm dead. I get to see a lot of things."
Am I dead?
"No, but you've crossed over."
I'm not poking out my eyes.
"Why would I want you to poke at your eyes, you daft git?"
Just making sure.
"You can ask me anything. I'll answer. But you only get 3 questions.
I am really bad at these games.
I am bound by the laws of the afterlife and the life to answer you fair and true. But after that, you must return."
Ishmatar, what will placate them to prevent war between them and Ayre? Where am I?
Ayre.
Ayre. I need the map. I need to actually look at the map.
Well, I can send you a copy of it, so you can always keep it open.
I have to unite the island, and I have to start there. And I need to know, since apparently they're looking at Ayre, I need to know what will placate them.
What is the problem that the King of Davin currently faces that he
No
shares
air.
in common with the King of Ishmir? Henrik has no sons and no daughters. Tanir has only daughters. He'll take it by force, or you can give it to him by marriage. Next question. The sun's almost full in the sky, and when it is, I'm gone.
Pendria. Pendria? Oh my god.
Pendria is the islands.
Yeah, no, the De Vere's land.
Palabria.
Palabria. Ugh. Palabria.
Yeah.
They want me to marry the queen out there. I don't know if I want to do that. Is there anything else that would placate her and get her to join?
Palabria was my kingdom before I did unify the island. And Evwin is my heir, cousin. I married her and gave her the throne before I died. Marry her. Make her High Queen. Break the control that Estrad is putting on her with their zealousness. And that will bring Oski to the crown. You'll have finance and trade with the continent to make your kingdom rich. Quickly, last question.
Last one is, how do we get purchase with that little island to the south?
Well, Oski, that's the one he just said, basically, that if you take her, you'll bring Oski on board.
Oh, okay.
Rethink the question. I'll give you a do-over.
I don't care if I screwed up, because I screwed up. It fitted Athane, but the Estradi, any way to placate them and get them on our side? Or are they lost?
The paladin will be sacrificed to defeat the Primarch. In his act, the Ostradi will see God himself, and they will follow the High King. But you will lose the first paladin. Now it is time to go, lest you be trapped in the land of the dead. Quick, boy, retrace your steps, now!
I just turned for a run.
So suddenly you find yourself running, and then boom, you're back out in sunlight, and you see Cian just sitting on a stump, smoking a pipe.
See who's sitting on a stump?
The king, the king of Ayre, Cian. He's just sitting on the stump, smoking.
Kind of skid to a halt. Oh.
Well, you're as white as a sheet.
I didn't ask for this.
None of us do, boy. You are my high king, and where around the others I will kiss your arse and tell you the sun rises and sets with your smile. But here, we're men. Kings, but men. So I'll speak straight to you, like a brother. I do not envy the road you have to walk, and there's a lot that'll want to kill you before you're done. But the more you fight it, the harder it's going to be. And that is a weakness that can be exploited. Put away your old life. It does not benefit you now. When you rule, that pragmatic Calethi peasantry will serve you well and make you a beloved king. But now you must be a bear, a wolf. You must take this island by the throat and make it give you what it needs. You can no longer be weak. Shall we go have some breakfast then?
Yes.
Great. Let's go.
I walk in silence as I'm doing the math in my head. 2 + 2 = 0 because I can't do math.
And he just whistles a tune.
As everything's going. One last thing I would really, really, really like to do is when we get back is if I see Gerhardt, Sir Gerhardt, I'm going to have a quick conversation with him.
Okay. So when you get back, you don't know why, Gerhardt, but you left, like you just felt compelled to leave the keep.
Okay.
And as you walked through the streets, you suddenly came to essentially a Celtic cross in a little, like in a center of like, an intersection of streets. And you don't know why, but you just went to your knees and began praying.
All right.
You felt peace from doing this. You felt comfort and warmth and love and compassion. And then you felt knowledge. You will die. But in your death, you will save them all. You, Max, find him as you're walking back into town at this carved statue. King Cian just keeps walking. He doesn't stop.
Well, is Sir Gerhardt like praying or something right now? I'm not going to interrupt if he is.
As you stand there and look at him, like, what's he doing here? He stops praying and looks at you, and you see Ethane standing there.
My Lord.
You are going to be my champion. You are my right-hand man. You are my sword. It is not Devere. It is not Navari. It is you.
Yes.
Where I go, you go. And since I can't think of anything else to say, I stop.
It is me that will make them see the light.
Huh?
Said it is me that will make them see the light.
Everybody around you's gone crazy, by the way.
Okay.
Devere, you are dragged into a meeting by Philip, as tired as you are, with the other military commanders of Ayre. Early on the morning tide, the Draelish ships began arriving in port, and scores of Draelsman warriors have been flooding into this small, sleepy city. And there's a couple of them there. And basically, they just spend the morning discussing military with you. As you start to get an understanding of what they know about the military situation on the island, what they know about the armies, and you have some information about Palabria that you can choose to share or not share, where they're correct or incorrect. That's up to you to decide. But you start to get a picture of how desperate the odds are. If Ostrad, Palabria, and with the money of Oski were to come together and decide to take the island and Davon falls, there would be no stopping them. Everything linchpins on the fate of Davon.
We must must make this look as official and as respectable as possible. This whole expedition must not be viewed as a ragtag bunch, simply scurrying across the land like a swarm of ants. You must look professional.
Now, have you shared with them the plan that Philip will be taking this group and heading?
Yes, I will share.
One of the big Drailsmen, who seems to be the captain of this group of ships, goes, "Then I'll take my ships 5 full and sail for Queensport and meet Philip there. Once there, she'll know the North stands with the High King."
How many men do you have?
5 ships. Well, that's over 500 men. And a Drailsman is worth 5 of yours. So we'll say a lot of men.
And your men on the field of battle, are they worthy soldiers? Would they just come across as a ragtag bunch?
Think about it. She relies on the ships from Oski. And even they won't try Drailsmen at the sea. Our presence in the port will let her know that the High King controls it.
Okay, so you're showing off your naval might, but it is on land where Palabria is strongest, and we are planning a land expedition, and that has to be my focus.
We'll send you a compliment. 200 Drailsmen, our best.
Very well.
Ayre will put a fair force together, 500 men.
And please dress them in the new standard.
That might be a mistake.
Why?
They'll march under the banner, but they must show the colors of Ayre to show that Ayre stands. Otherwise, they'll just look like rabble.
Well, if you combine the two, then you will show.
You'll no be doing that, Sir De Vere. Knight
I mean,
Commander you may be, but we are Irishmen. We march under our own banner.
You must show the banner of the High King as well.
We'll fly it as well.
That's what I mean by combining the two. Fly both.
Now that's fair. We'll do that then. And then maybe Philip will be lucky and pick up some 100 pikemen in Calath.
Calath pikemen will not strike any fear into Palabria in terms of strength.
Oh, then that's because Palabria's never fought the Calethi. They may be farmers, but when it comes time to fight, there's a reason why the Beastmen never raid Calath.
Very well, then I underestimate the farmers.
As everyone does. Yet one of them is your High King now, eh?
That is true. And we underestimated him to begin with. And maybe we still do. But he's growing stronger. He's growing into the role that God has determined for him.
We'll make sure that your envoy gets safe and clear to Queensport. And we'll gather who we can on the way.
Make sure supplies are fresh and plentiful. A good army cannot march on an empty stomach.
We'll hit Callus just as the harvest begins. We'll resupply there.
Then you are planning well. You are one step ahead of me.
Well, no offense, Sir Devere, but you have been locked all the way over in your fancy Palabria all this time. You all tend to forget there's a whole other island that you're a part of.
You do speak the truth. And I am starting to see this island and starting to see the world outside my own and starting to understand that there is a land outside of the castle walls in which I grew up. It'll take time. It'll take time. I know the role I'm destined to fulfill. I plan to fulfill it, not with all of my
Laurelin,
heart.
you've been having visions all morning.
Mm-hmm.
Good ones, bad ones, success, defeat. And the one thing you know as you've gone through all of this is somehow Devere is how Davin will be saved. And with that thought in your head, you've walked into their meeting to hear that last bit of what Devere just said.
Well, finally, you've come to your senses, it seems. You are the linchpin behind all this, you know.
I'm starting to realize that I do have a duty to fulfill beyond that of my own lands. The idea of my queen marrying someone who I believe to be little more than a common peasant, I admit that still makes me wonder. But marriage is and has always been the best way to forge political allegiances. If it must be done, it must be done.
We must all set aside our personal desires for the greater good.
Do you have a woman somewhere, Laurelin?
A woman.
Yes.
Long ago, but that was quite some time ago. No, not anymore. I don't have such mortal desires as of late.
It is difficult to push back against those desires. For what are we not all mortals? Are you hinting at something? Has God spoken to you?
God, gods, spirits, destiny, fate, the stars. It all speaks to me now.
There is only one God, and if you have heard something inside, then trust me, it was the one true God speaking to you. Do not let the spirits make you believe that it is them. If it is good, then it is from God.
Good and evil, black and white. It's not always what's right. But it's good you have your faith. Your faith is good. It'll serve you well in what obstacles we have to overcome.
Sometimes I think faith is all I have. Faith and my strong sword arm, and I hope the love of a good woman.
And don't forget your leadership, Sir Devere.
That is to be put to the test, it seems.
It's already been put to the test. And so far, it's proven shaky, but well. You're taking to it, as you should, fulfilling your destiny.
I was brought up to be a soldier and to work within the family business. I would never believed I would be a commander on the battlefield. I would do my duty for my realm, and then with that duty done, I would settle into the family trade and continue to serve my queen. The idea of commanding an army It excites me. But I'll admit to you, Laurelin, it scares me.
Fear is not it's not a bad thing to have. We all must fear. You have to find balance. You see what I mean? I, of course, am struggling to find that balance.
Yes, we know. And you can understand why we question what is going on in between those ears and what were once your eyes.
You have to understand my sacrifices, my soul, my body, my very being I've given for all this purpose that I truly believe in. That's why I brought you all together. That's why we are here. And that's why not just my eyes, but everything else that I've sacrificed and probably will sacrifice more is for what I know is right for everyone in this land, not just in this time, but in the times to come and the time after that and the time after that.
We have all made sacrifices, but I will admit, Laurelin, that yours have been the greatest.
Believe me, the greater sacrifices will not come from me. They will come from all of you soon. I hope to only be an example of what you have to give.
I do hope the rest of us will not be poking our own eyes out.
Navri, you are awoken in the room that you're in by a knocking at the door.
Sorry, I was just typing a message in private chat.
Okay, well, you're awoken by a knocking at the door. So there's a page from the king there. The king would see you. Come with me.
Oh, certainly. Right away.
So you grab a cloak and put it on because you're, in your bedclothes. And you are led down to the king's private sort of office. And he looks at me and goes, Sir Ishmatar, thank you for joining me. Sorry to rouse you.
It's okay. How can I help?
My sister's grown quite fond of you.
Is that
What
so?
are your intentions?
I say,
What be your intentions, boyo?
no foul intentions, I can assure you. I mean, I'm just accompanying the High King along this journey. I have no foul intentions. My intentions are to nothing more. And then this fine lady comes along, and might I say, she is the most stunning lady I've ever laid eyes on.
Aye, she takes after her mother. You gonna marry her or not, boy?
I would very much like to, but I would like to get to know her better first. But I also think that there are more pressing matters at hand.
Aye, that there are. So you say you want to marry her? Good. And he throws a scroll down on the table in front of you. Deliver that to your king in Ishmir. And if you convince him to sign it, I'll give you her hand.
I'm honestly quite stunned. Yes, certainly, I will do this.
Good. Now go bathe and put on some clothes. You look a mess.
At once. Thank you very much, King.
Majesty, but that's all right. You
Majesty.
can't expect Ishmiri to understand things sometimes. Away and go with you.
For the sake of Albana, I hope this works out.
Aye. Laurelin, you leave your conversation with Devere. You're walking down the hall. You turn into the room that they've given you, and as you walk through the door, you are not in your room. You are, for sure, in the throne room of the Witch King Queen of Brooka. She sits on her throne, looking at you. We meet again, Laurelin Lockwald.
My dark lady. I would say it's a pleasure, but never is when we meet.
Must we be enemies?
But of course, it is
We
what
walk a different
destiny
world.
seems.
You and I are not like them. You and I are different. You and I are like gods.
You can't tempt me with your fairy ways. I am different than them. We are different, but we're not gods, you and I. We just see different. We bend reality different. But really, in our hearts, we're still mortal. And when
I
you
have
fall,
lived-
you'll finally realize that.
I have lived 800 summers. Can you say the same?
Well, not yet.
As much as I enjoy dancing with you, it is time to come to terms.
What you are?
He truly the High King.
Is he the High King?
Truly.
He is truly the High King.
Then I pledge you this. Ruka will do nothing until he unites the island. And then he and I will contest for the fate of the Misty Isles.
1-on-1.
Army to army. We will clash in a skein, and only one of us will claim the throne, and the other will be fed to the worms.
Very well. I accept these terms in the name of the High King, the true High King.
Then I give him 3 winters to accomplish this task. If in 3 winters he has not completed and united the island, he is not the High King, and my beast men will swarm across the lands, and the rivers will run red.
As it was destined before and happened before in many lifetimes, many wheels and moons ago in destinies and dimensions, it will happen once again, and you will fall, and the light will prevail.
Then in 3 winters, on the midsummer, the High King's holiday, he and I shall decide the fate of Albana. And you're back in your room. And that's what we're going to call the session.
Cool.
I want you guys to send me your votes on Discord, as per usual, for your MVP. And we're going to wrap this up with our usual post-show wrap-up. You're all so serious. Oh my god.
It's always hard to figure out who you think stood out.
Well, Jesse Ruse, you can always rewatch it as soon as we're done and see the whole show. But thank you for kind of showing up. Very kind of you.
Okay.
All right. Navri Ishmatar, IQ Iman, who did you vote for and why?
You're muted.
You're muted.
Sorry, thank you. I was just typing the explanation, but I can just say it. So I voted for Cody Laurelin, partially because I rewatched last session a few days ago, and I really should have voted for him for that because that was phenomenal. But even today was still phenomenal. He's doing a really good job of playing the character who knows exactly what he's talking about, but yet appears completely insane to everyone else around him.
The drunken
really
master.
Like it, so.
Thank you.
All righty. And what was your highlight of the game today?
Well, I'm gonna say Navri might be getting laid, and that was the highlight. No, I'm joking. I think the conversation that you had with Ethane right at the end there, where you told him, "Look, man to man, you need to like accept this responsibility and throw away your old life." I really like that because I think that might be a pivotal moment for him.
Interesting. All right, very cool. Mr. DeVere, also known as Ye Old Geek, also known as John, who'd you vote for and why?
I voted for Max for this session. He's slowly going from the what? Me? No, innocence to coming around to the idea that he's got a bit of responsibility, but I think he's role playing the fact that he's accepting the responsibility but not liking what's in store for him really well. So I think it's good. It's good.
Awesome. And your highlight for the game was?
I think the highlight of the game was you pulling the trick at the start to get me to give that sword back.
Hey, you wielded it in defense of the High King. It was fine. You tried to wield it in arrogance, and it rejected you. It is the High King's sword after all, sir. But well done. All right. Sir Gerhard Bocht, also known as Malachi, who'd you vote for and why?
Navri got my vote this week, or this month, I mean. I really feel like everything surrounding with the princess, he really played very well. With his, his uneasiness, his unsureness, but his desire for what the character wants.
Thank you.
Right.
Yes, I have spoken to girls before.
I more than me.
Quiet you. Highlight for the game for you was what, Sir Gerhard?
I think it's actually going to be me getting knighted. I think that is a point where he has gone from questioning his trust in people and authority to embracing it, realizing that there are people he can trust.
Okay, I like that. That's cool. I like that it was also you that was I like that your favorite bit was about you. I think that's great. Cody, who'd you vote for and why?
I voted for Fane again. I think he's doing an excellent job of role-playing this innocent farm boy becoming a king, and it's really, really been awesome to watch him role-play that, like John was talking about, where he's slowly coming into this role, and he's really realizing that he really almost doesn't have a choice in the matter. but he's accepting the responsibility slowly but surely, but he's doing a really good job of pacing that. So I mean, to be honest, he had the most opportunity for role playing, but when he does, he always does a good job. So yeah, I voted for Fane. As far as favorite moments, again, I would say Fane. I really like the Empire Strikes Back moment where he goes and talks to Sean Connery. That was awesome.
I was the only one that noticed that felt Empire Strikes Back. Yes.
Fair enough. All right. And last but not least, Max Liao. Who'd you vote for and why?
I voted for Navri. It was crazy tough. like because again, as Cody said, I had such ample opportunity today, so picking out what each person did, they all had really standout moments, but I picked Navri because one, his internet was working. I also liked the fact that we could see the character grow, and he was put into some personal situations. And while sure, these games are about combat, these games are about progressing, in this case the story, etc., etc., I like those personal moments and seeing how player characters react to those. So I voted for him for that one. Highlight was the knighting of Bocht, because that caught me. Honestly, it kind of caught me by surprise, even though I know I was the impetus for it. But I was like, wait, what? Some of that confusion wasn't just a thing at that point. Like, okay, I guess we're doing this. Cool.
Nice. Very cool. So that means we have a tie for Max and Navri as the MVP for tonight. So for XP, since you guys didn't really do anything that would involve normally making stuff, you all get 5 skill rolls of your choice. You can only do one skill once. You can't double them up on or triple them up on one skill. And Max and Iman, you both get an extra 2 rolls for winning MVP.
Thank you. What is that? A D4? D6?
Well, we'll explain it to you in the chat what you do. Though you've played enough Call of Cthulhu, you should know by now how to do your
I'm
skills.
just checking what your rules specifically are.
It's percentile roll, and then it's a D4 added to the skill.
D4.
If you succeed, or technically fail. Beyond that, great game. Really enjoyed it, and I think anyone who's coming here looking for insane combat needs to readjust what they're going to be getting from this game. This game is about character. This game is about story. I mean, remember, Dirty Filthy Story Gamer, and it's
They
about
need to watch last
where
session,
you got
really.
everything I do is mostly in reaction to you guys. I mean, there's stuff I have to achieve, but mostly I just react to what craziness you guys come up with and then follow those threads where they lead, which is a lot more fun for me that way because it's kind of keeps me on my toes. Don't worry, for those who want to see some combat, there will be combat coming. Trust me. Like, this man is trying to assemble a fucking army to control the island. You don't think people are going to try and stand in his way here and there? I mean, you know, you just got yourself a little boon with the Witch Queen, but the Astradi are still out there. Remember that Gerhard you guys fled from? He's not gone. You've just been avoiding him by doing a circumvention of the island. So we'll see what happens. Beyond that, everybody, when the stream is over, you'll be able to post comments down below. Please tell us who your MVP was. Tell us what your favorite moment was. And we're going to be back next month with the next session of this and a surprise next month coming for you all. So until then, I thank you all for watching. I thank you, gentlemen, for playing with us. And I am Bear the Gen X GM saying peace, love, geek, and, well, I guess they're in it now because there's no turning back from this, is there? Mm-hmm. Say goodnight, boys.
Good night,
Yeah.
boys.
And everyone